Hey everyone, and welcome to Signals from the Frontline, your every Wednesday live broadcast brought to you here by Frontline Gaming. We are your host, Kicker, the chief of cereal and sigilite of FLG, and I'm Seth the Mad Dog, your competitive correspondent. How has everyone been doing?
Dude, I lost my voice. So if you're listening and I sound like I'm in the mafia, it's because I lost my voice from working New Orleans Open.
Kicker has a deal that you can't refuse.
Yeah. It's just
He's going to
creepy.
leave a tech priest's head in your sheets. I hope
I'm like,
everyone enjoyed our tech priest.
yeah, right. Let's bring him up here. He's a new member of our wonderful cast. There he is. There's a
Hey,
tech priest. Thank you.
obviously,
How you been doing?
they love
This is
me.
this is the man that's been behind the scenes for the longest time,
Ooh.
but now he's here joining us in the flesh.
So if you're not watching our show live right now, you're just listening it to your car on your way to work. We are a live podcast every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we have a real life tech priest that is part of our show. He is he's a valuable member that we've decided to add to keep the cogs rolling. Is that a thing? Did
Yeah.
we say the
Yeah,
cogs
yeah.
spinning?
I mean, yeah, there's cogs.
There's cogs.
There's for sure cogs. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Did you light the appropriate incense and recite the appropriate incantations this evening, Richard?
Yeah. All the prayers were done.
Good.
Yeah, everything is great. Yeah.
I need a little bit of like scented oil or some crap for my throat because I can't.
Or
take a little sip
Kicker,
of that.
hot tea.
Hot
Hot
tea,
tea.
yes. Can the
Hot
tech
tea,
priest get
yeah.
me some hot tea? Yeah, it was so funny. Literally the day after New Orleans Open, I had a call with Reese, and he's like, "Dude, hot tea and honey right now." And that's what everyone has
Who
been
was
saying.
shouting
New
that
Orleans
at
Open.
you the entire event? I forget,
Yeah,
Kicker. Who?
you were saying that the entire time, Seth, and I really appreciate it. I am slightly stubborn, and I did not take any hot tea or honey, so my throat is still sore, but I am getting better with the aid of sugary breakfast cereal as usual. I have also been painting mech guns, which has made my life extremely enjoyable. The mech gun kit is so much fun. Can we show a model there that I've been painting? I'm very proud of my hobby progress. Look at this. Oh, isn't this gorgeous? This is my white armored, yellow accented
Nice.
mech gun. Yeah. I really like the glow effect I've got going on there and the custom blast
Did you
I've
do that
done.
with the airbrush or a dry brush?
No, dude, no airbrush for me. That is all dry brush and a little bit more like washes in between and
All
stuff.
right,
I'm
all
pretty
right.
proud of that. What have you been up to, Seth? Come on, you've been busy. I know you were at the New Orleans Open, but
I had a good time in New Orleans, and that
yeah,
was my hobby progress.
yeah.
Now we'll get to it in a minute, but there's been a lot of new leaks about Nids and Eldar, so I've been frantically trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my orcs. And then,
Were you happy with your score, your record at New Orleans?
I went 4-2. I was very happy with it.
Sweet.
That last game that I played was my chance to get into the finals, which is probably the best performance I've had is in a large event. So I was very happy with it. It was just, you gotta keep adapting. So you never know. But Kicker,
Yes.
I'm very happy to tell you that I watched this weekend when I got home a beloved Christmas tradition movie with my wife, Jingle All the Way.
Jingle. Oh, great movie, man. Great movie.
Yeah.
Great
I have
movie.
to step in. I love Jingle All the Way.
I mean,
It is such an underrated classic.
It is
great. I think we just need to give it a shout out.
It's so good.
Okay.
Wait, what? What's okay, Kicker? What's your favorite?
Okay, I got to say, Jingle All the Way definitely ranks up there, but I don't hate me, guys. But Christmas Vacation is easily my favorite Christmas movie. Like it beats Home Alone. It just something. I mean, I would name my dog Snot after the dog in Christmas Vacation because I love that so much.
Tech Priest Richard, what's yours?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think Scrooged.
Ooh.
Do you guys know Scrooge with Bill Murray?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's gotta be my favorite. The elevator in that movie is just so great, and yeah. No, thank you.
If you're in the chat, please share your favorite Christmas movie and give me some ideas because I've been watching Christmas Vacation every single year for the past 36 years. So
Nikki D. Williams, you don't need to listen to podcasts that are that negative. You don't need them in your life. He said that he just listened to a podcast about how much Jingle All the Way sucks, and he doesn't need that kind of negativity.
No, you do not need that kind of negativity in your life.
I did at the top of the show want to get a correction out of the way. I have multiple corrections to issue this episode, folks, but let's get this first one out of the way. When I made some announcements about the changes to the upcoming ITC, I misspoke last week. If you've seen the edited version of the show since then, Sarval edited the correction, but I promised the Emperor Reese himself that I would put a correction on air here today. The change is not so much the scoring of events, but it's how players are scored. So previous years, Kicker, you would needed to get like what, 1 major, 2 GTs, and 6 RTTs to get your
Something
score.
to the two, except basically your score had to be a combination of majors, GTs, and RTTs.
Now it's just your top 6 scores. So theoretically, you could go out and get 6 RTT scores and max out your score, all getting 6. But would you compete for the top of your faction or the top of the ITC with RTT scores alone? Probably not. But if you're just trying to compete against your buddies and you can't travel to big events, this is a great way for folks like that to do that. So I promised the Emperor that I'll issue that correction, and now this is the last time you will ever hear Seth the Mad Dog talk about ITC rules. I'm going to leave that to the paid professionals from now on, folks.
Well,
he is the competitive correspondent, though. I gotta be like, you're gonna have to say something about the ITC.
Well, this was brand new breaking news that we did, but we just want to have it perfectly clear so that people understood what's going on. But with that said, there's also other news hitting the interwebs right now, like this brand new Tau Pathfinder, Dark Strider. I don't even like Tau. I think Tau are just terribly boring, but this model has got me excited for the new codex. It's something with those little drones that he's got hovering by him. There we go. We got pulling up the screen right there from the Warhammer community page. It's just a cool model, and there's something about tiny drones that just are cool. I don't know what else to say about it. There's also some like crazy serious leaks going on here with the new Nids and Eldar. They're popping up all over the internet. Seth, do you want to maybe just take a few of the Nid leaks real fast, because this is like brand new information.
All right, buckle your seatbelt, folks, because you thought Thick City was bad. Let me introduce you to Thick Hive Mind.
Thick Hive Mind. Is this going to be the Seth term? Is this going to
I don't know, but it's an army of renown. It's coming out in White Dwarf this week. And essentially, the restriction is that you can have no models in your army that are not multi-wound. So, and you can't have any swarms. So it's all like warriors and big bugs and hive guard and that kind of stuff. All the monsters, Kicker, get -1 damage.
Ooh,
period.
Ouch! And we know how effective that is on dreadnoughts, like and ramshackle on the orc vehicles. That's clearly a very powerful.
They count as double wounds for their bracket purposes, which is also great. And then everything in the army has a 5-up invuln save.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I love it.
And then there's a psychic power to give out a 4-up invuln save, which is also great. There's a strat where when these monsters charge, they can do mortal wounds on the charge based off your strength and their strength and the number of wounds they have. So they can roll a lot of dice at you and do mortal wounds. There's a fight on death stratagem for the monsters, so you can charge these big bugs in, even if they're not characters, fight on death. And there's a transhuman strat. So you can only wound them on 4. So even if you have like, Castellan with a volcano cannon, you're like, yeah, but it's only going to wound me on 4s, and then I got a 5-up invuln save. So like, holy crap.
So they're basically getting every single good rule like that you can think of, because we know transhuman's amazing. We know the -1 damage is amazing.
Kicker, you can still run like all of the Leviathan rules that they got out of Octarius that made them very strong. So like,
wow,
holy crap, guys! And for you, the viewers, I've already played 2 games against these rules. Holy crap, those bugs are hard to kill.
So let's just be clear, though,
their wound count equals, it makes them count as the number of models
for
on
objective secures.
So you can just be like, hey man, I just got like, this is my 18 wound like D McCarran. It counts as 18 models on the objective. And you're like, I don't have Hobsec on there. Like, well, it's mine now. And you're like, oh,
that's rough. Seth, just to clarify for the people that might not have seen the leaks themselves, this is an army of renown, right?
Yep.
That means your entire army has to be this built to the standards. Yeah. So you can't add a detachment of this. This is your entire build, which regardless, this seems amazingly powerful.
Who
and
doesn't
well
want to play with big bugs?
Right.
And they cannot lie.
And people have been wanting
other
to do that.
tech priests can't deny.
People have been wanting to do that for a while, though, right? Like every time people look at the Nids, they're like, "Oh, I'd like," not everyone, but I mean, with me, I had no desire to run a swarm of Nids, but to do just a bunch of Godzillas and stuff, like, yes, that sounds
Monster
awesome.
Mash. Nid Monster Mash is going to be back in a big way, so just plan for that in the future, folks.
And we don't only have the bug leaks, right? We've also got these Eldar leaks, which have been trickling out through some special Discord, right? And now they're pretty public. Everyone knows Corsairs and Yunari are kind of being rolled into this book. Seth, do you want to give the inside scoop on what we've been hearing?
Yeah, so this stuff is less confirmed. We don't have any images of the Eldar Codex. This is just kind of the word on the street, but it seems like pretty reliable word from what I've been told. So Corsairs and Yunari are being rolled in the same book. Harlequins are also going to be in that book. Whether the Harlequins get their own standalone codex or not down the line is still not determined. Ynnari, the big thing is they get +1 to hit if their unit takes any casualties. So if they just like lose a model the rest of the game, they're +1 to hit. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
And they always have, excuse me, guys, fights first. So just like stupid Dark Eldar witches. Battle focus, which if you remember is an ability that they've had for several books now, has been changed so that it is a free D6 move after they shoot if they didn't advance or fall back. If that's true, that's going to be really, 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 really annoying, because you can be like, I stepped through a wall with these unit of infantry and shoot, and then I step back through the wall, as long as you roll decent. So that's really good. Yeah, that's really kind of crazy. And then fate dice, and this is the big one that everyone's been trying to wrap their mind around. Essentially, from everything I've heard, it is you will generate a fixed number of dice based on the size of the game and what characters you bring. So, sake of argument, let's say 8 dice. We roll 8 dice at the start of the game, Kicker, and you set those aside in a little pool. And if at any point that you're rolling, you roll a dice that is the same value as one of those dice in the pool, you can choose to use that fate dice and turn that value into a 6. Wow. So you are shooting a fusion gun, which is the Eldar version of Melta. You have a 2 in your pool, and you roll a 2 for damage. You can be like, you know what? No, I'm pulling the 2 out of my fate pool, and I'm making it a 6, and now that's 6 damage.
That's going to be rough. That's going to be rough.
It's sort of like Miracle Dice in that aspect, where it's like I can replace certain things, but it's not.
This is just straight for a 6.
Yeah, just always a 6. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So
man, I mean, Eldar seem to have always been good. I mean, okay, right now they're not so good, but as soon as they get their new codex, I have a feeling they're going to go back to being one of the top armies. And what's kind of cool is that we know this army's going to be getting a whole bunch of new models too, based off the advent calendar we've been seeing every single day for the month of December. It's clear that they're going to be doing a pretty significant refresh of the entire model.
We're going to have to kill them pointy ears, kill them real good.
Right.
I got to say, guys, I noticed some other non-Eldar things in those.
Yeah, there's some chaos stuff coming for sure.
Is there?
I noticed some chaos things.
Maybe.
You look like a loyalist tech priest to me, don't you?
Yeah,
Doesn't he look loyal to you?
No, I'm pretty loyal. Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is the advent calendar they've been doing every single day, and there have been some non-Eldar sneak peeks that look pretty chaosy, or right? I mean, you'd say they're chaos, right, Seth? I mean,
I mean, that definitely looks like some sort of Talon-y chaos nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been looking because I'll be 100% honest with you guys out there in chat. The only thing I'm going to get hyped about is orcs.
Oh, Jesus.
And I don't want them to release more orcs right now. I'm fine. Just leave me alone and let me just have my models. Don't bug me with anything new right now. So,
well, I'm pumped because I think the Eldar line's got to be one of the oldest lines still out there. So they badly need.
The Eldar players definitely deserve a new line. So good on you guys. I'm sure you'll enjoy them. I'm just happy to become a content orc player right now.
Well, hey, Seth, you were at the New Orleans Open. Did you see that thing that we cunningly snuck into the tournament?
Did you see that thing? Did you mean the thing that I immediately found and was like, put me down for one? Yes, I saw it.
Yeah. So for those of you watching the stream or seeing some of the photos posted online, Frontline Gaming did sneak in the brand new full colored orc ITC terrain kit that we make, and it's gorgeous. So the first one we did was the full color Gothic Ruin set, which we I don't have pictures. I don't even know if we have formal photos yet. I don't have photos for the stream. Do you have photos?
He didn't send me pictures.
I didn't send any photos. Okay, cool. No. We might be holding off. We're getting them professionally photographed this week.
Well, you can check them out on the Frontline Gaming community page.
Yes,
right?
You can. You can see some sneak peeks. I took a few shots of it. Some other people took some photos of them. But yeah, so we did the Gothic Ruin set. People loved it. We launched that at Black Friday. And we wanted to show off the brand new orc terrain set for the people at the New Orleans Open. So that was on the top table for day one. And then it made its way over to the stream table for a bit. But yeah, it's gorgeous. So it's a full colored ITC orc colored terrain set, whatever. After LVO, this set will be available for sale, along with the Gothic Ruin set and probably one or two other sets which we'll release. But we're trying to get LVO squared away before we go with that.
Is LVO a big deal to you, Kicker?
Yeah, it's
Like
slightly,
that?
just slightly a big deal. Yeah,
All right.
no big deal.
All
You
right.
know, slightly. Yeah, it's massive. We're going to talk about the LVO in just a second, but I wanted to, congratulate the winners of the New Orleans Open. Best general was John Lennon. Second best general was Mark Perry. Third best general, yeah, right. Mark Perry was running the Orcs.
Yeah.
John was running Nids.
Yep, Nids. Yeah, Nids.
Nids before this Army of Renown. So
Nids before. So Nids
Right.
just only got better, folks.
And then third best general was Quentin Johnson. He was running Jukari. And yes, Jukari,
Yeah.
they still got some teeth, right?
Oh, yeah, they do. Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
they
they do.
The first best hobbyist was Robert Moreland. Can we pull down a picture, Tech Priest, please, Richard Tech Priest, the beautiful pictures here of the guard army. Robert is a diehard Astra Militarum fan, and his army is gorgeous. There's a few little custom little bits there on his display board that are just dropped in gorgeous. We got a few photos there. You can cycle through them. But I'm going to keep on moving. We've also got the second best hobbyist, which is Jesse Moreland, and the third best hobbyist was
Is that
Clark Welch.
any relation to Robert Moreland?
Yeah, I was wondering about that and I realized, you know what? I think it's a typo. I think it's Jesse Thompson. I was going back to the roster of players after I did these notes. I'm like, oh yeah, so it's Jesse Thompson that won second best hobbyist. And then going into Ren person, first best Ren person was Sean Naden. He's always, I think this is his second time this year running first best Ren person. He won it in SoCal too, I believe. And then second best Ren person is Kyle Lamprez. Third best Ren person is Jason Merton. And then talking about our Super Mega Faction Award winners, best Eldar is Quentin. Best Chaos is
Eldari. Get
Eldari.
it right.
Eldari. Best Chaos is Joni Valquez. Best Imperium is Jamie Paris. And he was running Spaceballs, right, Seth?
And he pronounces it Jaime.
Jaime. Oh, I'm so sorry. Jaime Paris. Thank you. I apologize. And best Xenos is John Lennon, who, of course, won the entire event.
Now, I have to take this moment, Kicker, to congratulate all of those winners, but also point out I see a distinct lack of my name anywhere on that list.
Dude, you were so close.
And I tried to bribe some of the judges with beignets every day, but it just didn't work, folks.
Seth, I'm very proud you pronounced that correctly. Beignet, not Bignet or something like that, because there were several people
or as the FLG staff judge pronounced it, bidet.
Yeah, being a local here, I was kind of like shocked. Like, you guys don't know what a beignet is, but I guess it's just really a New Orleans delicacy, a fried donut thing covered in powdered sugar, which was glorious. We did see powdered sugar throughout the entire hall that weekend.
Oh yeah. After the first day, when I figured the second day is when I figured out that Cafe Beignet was like right around the corner, and you could just go get hot fresh beignets first thing in the morning. Like I think between us and like Joe and Adam Solis and Campbell area, there were just always beignets in the morning.
Oh yeah. It was a pretty beautiful sight. Let's jump into the LVO, because this is happening. We're like a month out now. We're gonna get that beautiful LVO artwork in the background. In case you haven't seen it, the LVO poster is gorgeous, done by wonderful Thomas Goat Boy. So guys,
I like how I'm doing finger guns and he's doing finger guns back at me.
Yeah, right. Oh, there you go. Yeah. With our Sammy Javis Jr. Logo there, guys. This is really important. If you're a package ticket holder, like you've got the High Roller package or the 40K Champions package, you get a T with your package. And most people did include the T size they wanted in the notes there when they bought the ticket, but many people did not. So we sent a form out. If you get that form in your email, please fill it out by Friday, because Friday we're placing the order. And if you don't put in the size you want, we're just going to give you what we got. So just check your emails if you are an LVO package ticket holder. I'm really excited to announce that there will be challenge coins. People have been asking, are there going to be challenge coins at LVO? There will be challenge coins, but our challenge coins are really expensive, and we're not doing it for every single player. The people that are going to get challenge coins are going to be the 40K champs players, the Age of Sigmar champs, the Star Wars Legion champs, the Kill Team champs, and the Lord of the Rings players. What's really important here to note is not necessarily every 40K event is going to get it. So if you're in the friendly or the narrative, you most likely you won't get one. We just don't have enough that we can order. The idea is that if you've gone to we want Frontline Gaming Challenge coins to be for a series. So we don't really do 40K narratives at anything other than the LVO. So there's just not going to be a challenge coin for that. Also, we are doing the pint glasses. These things are awesome. I just finished ordering them. The pint glasses come with a lot of the package tickets, but we're going to have a few extras on sale at the Frontline Gaming souvenir shop at the LVO. Have you ever gotten?
So what if I wanted to get a whole set for me and my wife and just replace our normal glasses with them?
You can do it. You can pre-order them right now on the website.
Okay.
But we've only got I think we're only going to have 50 or 60 for sale at the store. Most people have pre-ordered theirs.
Yep.
But yes, you can do an entire kitchen
dining set
of LVO.
Beautiful.
Of LVO fine china too, right?
I'm sure she will not shoot that idea down. I'll talk to her later, everyone.
Yeah, shoot.
Are you allowed to tell everyone the news that you told us?
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. This was discussed before, and let me just check my text real fast. I want to make sure.
Chat, get excited, chat.
Drum roll.
Okay, yeah. And
can you hear it?
I have the green light from the higher ups. So guys, yes, there is going to be a massive GW preview at the LVO. Woohoo! Yes, this is going to be big. This was just confirmed, and I wanted to make sure I could go public with it. There's going to be some pretty major news that will be released that night during the preview. This is probably going to impact everyone that plays 40K. It's really, really exciting. This is going to happen. Let me just check. Most likely Thursday night at 8 p.m. So that's Thursday night. The LVO really begins Friday, but early registration starts Thursday. We're going to have, so the ideally you can go in and you can register. You can go shop at the stores because some of the booths will be open. And this is going to happen right after the Vanguard Tactics Workshop. So ideally, you can go to the Vanguard Tactics Workshop, and then right after that, literally right after the Vanguard Tactics Workshop takes place, we're going to have the giant.
Jason really wants it to be Battlefleet Gothic.
Oh, is that what he wants?
Someone keeps saying Battlefleet
Jason, what if it's Dreadfleet?
What if it's Dreadfleet? No. Seth, for those not in the know, why don't you explain what Dreadfleet is? Because I don't think everyone even knows.
I've played Dreadfleet once, and it was a riot.
Really?
Dreadfleet was a naval combat game based in fantasy. But it was like every turn you rolled and the wind came from different directions and crazy crap would happen on the ocean. And I mean, you had to have a good imagination because you were just like, all my boats are getting destroyed. I don't know why it's going on. Why is my ship a vampire castle? It was crazy stuff, guys.
Well, so. I can't tell you what's going to be announced. I will tell you that it is going to be a pretty major announcement that, if you're there at the LVO there Thursday night,
Kicker,
please
blink twice if it's not new orcs.
I can't. We're moving right along.
Okay.
I've gotten a few messages, questions texted to me earlier today about the COVID status protocols in place. Frontline Gaming will be following whatever the status is in Nevada at that time, or in Clark County, where Las Vegas is based. But as of right now, the current status, and this is what we will be following, was that mask will be worn. Mask will be required to be worn at all times during the event in the hall, which means that we can't have food served in the hall, but right outside the hall, there'll be food. But yeah, mask will have to be worn at the LVO at this time. We're taking all precautions. Like I said, we'll follow whatever protocols are in place at that time. We're still a month and 2 weeks out, so things can change. But assume that's where we're going to be at for now.
Yeah, that's probably a safe place to be.
Yeah, definitely, man. And the prize support, I'm pretty proud about this too. It's going to be epic prizes this year. We realize that, product has not really been that exciting for players. How many start collecting box sets do the top players really, really need? So we decided to change things up a little bit. Now, you got to remember, at the LVO, it's not just the 40K champs there. We're also awarding the ITC awards, or giving out the ITC awards for the whole season. So there's going to be the LVO 40K Champ Awards, the AOS Champ Awards, and the ITC Awards. And between these three, there's going to be a total of 5 trips that we're giving out. 3 of those will be cruises, and 2 of those will be all expense paid trips within the USA. More details to follow on this. Yeah.
Can hosts win those?
You have to win the ITC or the LVO 40K Champs.
All right. I'm gonna have to start buckling down here, folks.
But you got it, Seth. I believe in you. I believe in
me too.
I believe in you. But our listeners are super savvy, and I bet you can get an idea for what these cruise tickets. Yeah, right. Hey Seth, you got to take away the sorry. Are you still in the running for best in faction for orcs? No,
I'm pretty far down the list right now. I have to have there has to be a we'll call it series of unfortunate events of everyone above me And then I don't know what the rules are about awarding posthumous best in factions.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I'm out of the running this year, folks. I'm out of the running. It's not this year for me.
I had a little note to ask you because I've been rooting for you, man, from the sidelines.
That's all right.
All right. Well, let's bring up the Cherokee Open artwork just because it looks so pretty. This is our amazing, Space Wolf riding a bear. The Cherokee Open, as everyone knows, happens right after the LVO in February.
Yep.
This is going to be the first, one of the first big major events post LVO. So it's kind of kicking off the new IT season in 2022. We decided to add a really fun meet and greet on Thursday night before the event so that you can kind of come out there, hang out. Yeah, it's up in the mountains. We're going to set up some sort of cool, hangout at the bar. We'll hopefully get some appetizers there. So just another reason to get up there Thursday night, hang out, and before the tournament. Because once the tournament starts, everyone's really focused or totally exhausted.
So who will people be able to meet and or greet?
Seth, you, of course, me, possibly
animated personalities.
Animated personalities like our AdMech tech who's here.
Nice.
Basically we'll want to have all the Chios, the judges there. We'll have hopefully a few personalities on site. So and just to meet your other players too and get to hang out before the brutal cutthroat competition begins the following day. And we're also working on a carpool rideshare thread that's going to be getting posted to the Frontline Gaming community page so that we can try to help people find ways to get from Asheville or Atlanta to the event in the mountains. Hey, Seth, what's happening with the FLGN?
Well, this week on Grim After Dark, they did their second part of the Infinite and Divine, which is quite the tale. If you've ever, I have no idea if it's an accurate reflection of the book, but their telling of the book is quite fantastical.
So I listened to this. It's like Bill and Ted meets Ren and Stimpy. Meets. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is very ridiculous. It is very ridiculous. It's quite entertaining though. They have continued to abide by my cease and desist, so that's been good news.
Oh, that's nice.
Last week there was some malfunctions with the Thursday show, so it didn't air, but they should be back on track this week. So fingers crossed we get to see them this week. And then Chapter Tactics talked about the most broken codexes that came out this year, and they had Adam Camilleri and Scari on there, so that was a cool one. But that's about it for the FLGN news. Kicker, you want to take us into the main segment for tonight?
Yeah, let's talk about how the lessons we learned from Nola, from the New Orleans Open, and how that's going to prepare us for the LVO. So this event that we just had this past weekend was the final kind of testing ground for the LVO. This was the last FLG event. And so, a lot of it was really solid. I mean, we tested out the terrain. Seth, you played in the terrain. You got a good feel for the player optimized terrain. I don't think we're going to change anything from that. I mean, Seth, do you have any thoughts after playing on it this weekend?
Are we keeping you up, Seth?
I'm tired, folks.
I saw him yawn.
Yes,
You're not allowed to yawn on screen, man.
I'm allowed to do whatever I want on my screen.
You can do whatever you want. You be you, boo.
I am doing me. I enjoy the terrain system. It definitely is something that if you're coming and you're serious, you should get practice with, because it definitely, if you don't place terrain right, you might completely screw yourself. If you need cover on an objective and you don't place cover on that objective. So just make sure you get some practice with folks, but you can find those rules online all over the place on the player packets. So it's really, really easy to do once you figured it out. And there's nice layouts of all the terrain sets with pictures of who gets what half. The only thing to keep in mind.
Did you like the keywords? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, the keywords,
because that was critical.
And I think I was talking with Leo, and the big complaint was there was a lot of heavy cover originally in the pack, and that was a lot of that was removed. And there's one table, I forget the name of the table, but it has very few ruins on it. So to compensate for that, Leo added the obscuring keyword to a couple sets of trees. And that sometimes will catch players off guard if they don't read that. So just make sure you read the pack closely and get some practice with it so you know what the terrain does, because if you go from because one table the trees might be dense and light cover, and the next table they might be obscuring dense and light cover. So just make sure you're checking your packet each game. I always took a minute to sit down with my opponent and just make sure we all knew what the keywords for each piece of terrain were before we got going, so that way we didn't get mid-game and go, oh, this thing I can't climb up on top of. Oh, that's a problem.
And so we're pretty much going to be rolling that exact set of rules out for LVO. I think what's really important to discuss is that certain armies are extremely scary. We learned, we learned this from the GW event, and then we learned it from the New Orleans event. Nids are a legit threat. Like they are vicious, and we just have to accept it. The new rules they got in that balanced data slate just really turns them up to 11 right now.
I mean, we're kind of bleeding into the competitive talk stuff here, but I'll throw it in here. Nids are really good.
Yeah. Deal with it.
Kicker. No.
No.
They only had a 51% win rate last weekend.
Really? So are you saying Nids in a good player's hands are just brutal?
Yep. But Nids are very good if you have the skill to play them in a high level. And that's not me being negative about anyone. It's just they're a very high skill ceiling army, so it allows those top players to really leverage some of their knowledge about the game, and do those kind of micro movements that they need to get the most out of that army. So just keep that in mind. Nids are very strong, but they're not an easy button, if that makes sense. Like they're not like, I'm gonna go pick up Nids and I'm gonna go crush every event I go to tomorrow.
Well, John Lennon took Nids to the New Orleans Open, and he played really well. His last two games, I'm like, oh, he's on the back foot. He might not win these. And no, it was all intentional. He kind of gave up part of the board so that he could protect his hive guard, and then the second half of the game, he took back the board.
And the one loss that he suffered that weekend was after not getting a lot of sleep the night before.
Yeah, there you
go.
Like
even he, a high level player, when not in the best mindset, made mistakes, and that list crumbled. So just keep that in mind.
The other thing we have to accept is that orcs, despite being castrated a little bit, sorry, but like they lost their buggies, they lost their flyers. The alpha orc list, as Mark Perry was piloting, was another brutal list. That this is going to be a thing that you're going to see in LVOs. You're going to see people with this orc list that if they can get turn one, I mean, if they go first, it's going to be rough. Seth, you obviously are very experienced with orcs in all different formats. Do you think that's the way to play orcs going into LVO? Do you think that's the list to worry about?
I have been tinkering with a bunch of options, but I like combat orcs more than I like shooting orcs right now, just because they're a little bit more reliable in terms of like once I reach combat, I am able to rely on a certain amount of damage output versus shooting is a little bit more variable with the dice. I think player place terrain helps a combat army like that because I can make sure that I have a deployment zone that I can at least minimize the amount that I'm going to get hit going second. I mean, I think people were talking about, I was on stream and I bet really heavy into that AdMech game that I was going to go first by putting those 2 units of commandos out there, but I also had ways to guard my army if I went second. So yeah, I think combat orcs are definitely a legit build. What that build looks like moving forward with the new Nid stuff, to be determined.
Yeah, but for sure, people going to LVO prepping right now, tweaking their list. They're gonna have to be prepared for obviously Nids with hive guard and orcs with commandos up in your face turn one if they can.
And they're gonna need to be prepared for Drukhari because Thick City did not go anywhere. Like it didn't win here, folks, but Thick City
Seth, Drukhari were 2 out of the top 4 armies.
One was Thick City and one was Shaw Nading running the more traditional, and people frequently just call it the good stuff.
The good stuff.
That's still good. Like Drukhari, like they got a points hit in the balanced data slate, but they didn't really get much of a nerf. So like they're still good. Like Incubi is still good, Witch is still good, Succubus still good. So like in the hands of a talented player, they can really leverage those things. So just keep that in mind. Drukhari haven't gone anywhere. They're still out there. There's some of the highest win rates out there right now are in Drukhari, close to 60%. So just keep that in mind. They're still really strong, but then you still have things like, I mean, again, we're skipping it down to the competitive section, but if you look at the top 8 or the top 10 that made it to the New Orleans, outside of that, we had T-Suns coming in at 5th, Space Wolves at 6th, Custodes at 7th, Imperial Knights at 8th, Dark Angels at 9th, and a mixed Imperium list of Guard and Custody at 10th. You have a very broad set of armies that are making it into those high positions. So I'd say just keep that in mind as you're moving forward.
For this LVO more than necessarily previously, like there's a diverse, you really do need to take all comers list at this point. But there's these things that if you're going to be making it anywhere near the finals, you're going to have to be prepared to take on at least these armies we just talked about.
Definitely the new Nid stuff should make it in before the rules cut off. Probably not any more new codexes though. I just don't.
No.
I don't see that in the pipeline coming out in time. So, but maybe GW will surprise us and get one out, but I doubt it.
Unlikely.
Because the cutoff is January 13th, I believe.
Yeah. Let's talk about the logistical lessons we learned.
Yeah.
Because we did
what'd you learn, Kicker?
like things on the back end which are really valuable to me. I learned that jambalaya at $10 is a huge success. Jambalaya, the Louisiana Cajun dish,
rice and meat.
Yeah, rice and meat. And it was only $10. And I think that was it. I think the secret there was the price point. It wasn't a $20 lunch. It was a $10 lunch that, I mean, Seth, correct me if I'm wrong, but I felt like it was like a significant portion. Like that was a fill you up kind of portion.
Richard, what you got?
So
what you got?
Wait, you're telling me that feeding gamers was a revelation that you had?
At $10, right? Traditionally, meals are normally $15 to $20. And this was only $10. And I I was kind of worried about doing something so regional like jambalaya and po' boys and gumbo, but they were extremely successful. So I want to try to lean more into regional cuisine whenever we do events, and you can keep it at that price point. I think the $10 was pretty sweet.
Because sake of argument, you're new to New Orleans, Kicker, you might have harangued a few FLG staff members for going to get pizza the first night, right?
Maybe, possibly. Our accountant
was so I made sure that they went out to a real New Orleans restaurant the second night. But the point is, like, okay, you have a decent price point lunch that's convenient to the hall, so I don't have to go everywhere to go get food. And it's also like, I'm in New Orleans. I really want to try to get some Cajun food while I'm here. Okay, well, here's some Cajun food. Okay, perfect. I've checked the boxes I want to check.
Well, I'm going to try to get at least. I don't know if I can get I don't know really what a new Las Vegas themed food is, but I'll at least try and hit something at that price point.
Ooh, boy. Las Vegas themed food.
Yeah, what is that? What is that? Right?
All of it.
All of it. A buffet. We did learn that cash only sucks. The concessions in the bar was only cash, no credit card, and that was not something that we determined. That's something that the venue determined. And I was very frustrated about that because I was kind of surprised. Like the day of, they're like, we're going to only do cash only. I'm like, no, we didn't tell any of our players. There's no ATM on our floor. The ATM's on the first floor. And that was not cool. And I didn't think it was going to be that bad of a problem. But no, it was definitely inconvenient.
It was definitely a frustration that I tried to. Kicker lost his voice like halfway through the first day, folks. So I tried to be the megaphone to announce that it is cash only, but I don't know how far that word got.
You did wonderful, Seth. Thank you so much. Guys, the other big thing I learned was where to position the judges and the FLG staff in the hall. We don't have that many people on call, on hand for the events. And I realized that the top tables really don't need that much, judge. I mean, obviously you want to have a judge near there, but we only really need one judge for the top 4 tables, if that. And it's really, like they all know the rules at that point, right? Like the guys in the top 4 the top tables tend to be pretty good, solid players. But we do. So what we're going to do is position our judge station right by the top tables, as we normally do, but maybe only have one judge there as opposed to 3 or 4, and then have the rest roaming. Because I think that there was a lot more judge calls, surprisingly, at the lower tables, and not even because there was issues at the tables, but purely because people weren't sure, like had questions, purely had simple questions. So we might skew our ratio to have more judges roaming the lower tables throughout the event. Proper signage. I didn't think that was that important, but you need to be able to find your way to the hall, especially in the New Orleans event, both the GW New Orleans event where you and I, Seth, got lost for a good hour. And then at the FLG event, because we were up on the 8th floor, it was just weird. We ended up like in some little kids ballet convention because we didn't know where to go. So signage is critical. And so I want to make sure for LVOs, we're going to have a couple thousand people trying to get to their tables. I'll try to have signs throughout the hotel kind of say this way to the LVO so that you don't get lost walking into a little kid's ballet recital.
Or other unscrupulous places that you could wander to in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, right? Exactly.
Places of ill repute.
I'm sure many of our viewers don't intend to go to those places, but they end up there.
You just find yourself there.
Yeah. All right. You guys remember that excuse. Right. You're welcome.
I wanted to say to War Games Live, thank you so much for the coverage. From someone that wasn't there, he did a great job.
That was
He did.
Joe the streamer. He was amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. And Seth, you were on stream. Was that invasive? Did that bother you with all the cameras and all?
No, we did a Thursday night test
Mhm.
just to kind of stress test the rig and everything, make sure everything was set up because Joe has a pretty complicated setup. I want to say it's like 11 or 13 cameras
Yeah.
that he tears down and sets up every time. So we did a test stream there on the night just to make sure it worked. And then we did. I think I was on round 4, and it really wasn't invasive at all. I also, my roommate was Adam Camilleri, so I did get to
Ozzy.
have some fun with him a little bit. Give him the mean mug when he was rooting against me during that game.
Yeah. And I think one of the most valuable lessons I learned was how critical it is to have volunteers that know how to handle a pallet jack. We had Sean Burbano there, our local volunteer, and this guy was a pallet jack pro. I mean, hey, if you guys know how to drive a forklift,
there's War Games Live. Hey, War Games Live.
Oh,
yeah, he's in chat.
Hey, Joe, I'm glad you're in chat. Thanks for joining us, man. Joe, just an awesome guy. If you don't mind having a guy park in your driveway, please, lend your driveway to Joe. He's on the road, crisscrossing the country, and needs a place to park his rig at night.
Yep.
But yeah, guys.
Pallet jack driver important because I've seen Kicker drive a pallet jack and it did not end well.
Yeah, dangerous. So, we're always looking for good volunteers, LVO, ACO, Cherokee. If you've ever had warehouse experience and you feel confident driving a pallet full of terrain or pushing a pallet full of terrain through a narrow haul, please reach out to me. Seth, I think we need to go to a quick ad break so I can grab some water.
Let's do it.
At Frontline Gaming, we make the best tabletop gaming mats in the universe. Our mats are durable, rollable, foldable, wipeable, and storable. Oh, and they look damn great too. Join the thousands of tournament regulars and garage gamers who use our mats to bring their gaming surfaces to life. To ensure quality, Frontline Gaming mats are custom made one at a time, printed with high quality ink. Our immersive designs stay crisp and are available in a wide range of styles and sizes. So whether you're playing a war game or a skirmish game, whether you're fighting over an alien tundra, fantastical forest, or real-world setting, there's a great-looking battlefield for you. Our gaming mats are printed on extremely durable neoprene backing, so they won't slide around the table, and they're thick enough to stay flat, protecting what's underneath and allowing for slight uneven surfaces. We know from experience that an easily portable gaming surface is just better. Every mat comes with a sturdy nylon zip-up bag for storage and transportation. Whether your next battle is in your home or at the local game store, you'll be able to unroll your FLG mat and get gaming right away. Our products are all made and tested by passionate gamers at Frontline Gaming HQ right here in the USA. It's time to take your battlefield to a new level. Frontline Gaming, champions of tabletop.
All right, and welcome back. We're gonna get into the ITC recap here because Kicker basically stole my segment.
Sorry,
but chat, get your questions in for Kicker and I for the end of the show. I'm gonna do my best to try to go down the ITC recap and read your questions at the same time. But if I miss any, our lovely tech priest Richard will help me. Hopefully,
of course he will.
So he will.
I mean, obviously, yeah.
Obviously.
Not
Thank
Kicker.
you.
Kicker doesn't help us at
I
all.
am not a giving human being.
Unless it's
Really?
cereal.
Unless it's cereal. Yeah, I mean, I literally brought bags of cereal
You
to
did.
the last event just because I'm generous in that way.
But you know what he didn't bring, folks? Hot tea.
I did not bring hot tea, and this is why my voice is gone. All right,
All right, chat. Before we get going, I want. I'm gonna tell a little story. We got a minute.
We got a minute.
So a few years ago, I was at Warzone Atlanta, and the first time Warzone Atlanta had Nick Notavati there, they put up a bounty because everyone knows Nick likes to have himself an adult beverage, and so they said, "Everyone buy Nick a drink." And I swear to you, Nick Notavati had a beverage in his hand 100% of the time for 3 days at Warzone Atlanta because people kept buying him drinks. I want for Las Vegas Open Kicker to never not have a hot tea in his hand. Okay. We're going to make that happen. I don't care how,
Oh my gosh.
but this boy is going to drink some dang
Let's
tea
do it. Let's do
so
it.
he doesn't lose his dang voice again.
I'm all for it. I'm all. I like
Do you have a preferred type of
lemongrass
tea, Kicker?
lemongrass, Earl Grey, whatever you guys want. I will enjoy it. So thank you.
All right. Well, let's get into the competitive news or the ITC recap. We have some movement finally. We've got the scores put in for both the FLG New Orleans Open and the US Open Austin from GW. So we've got a lot of movement now.
Yeah.
We have a new number one, the returning boy king himself, John Lennon.
He's back.
Crazy.
He has returned, so congrats to John for retaking the top spot. A little bit of movement then, so that bumps Brad Chester down to 2, Sean Naden down to 3, Manny Chima number 4, and then Jack Harpster slides up into our 5th slot, knocking out Malik Rubio. We also have a little bit of movement below that with Anthony Vanilla hopping up to 7th, Colin McDade shuffling down to 8th, Nick going to 9th, and then James Kelling moving into 10th. So a little bit of movement there towards the end of the season.
Pour one out for the old man Chester.
Yeah, wow.
Brad's taking a break right now,
Yeah.
and I got a feeling he's like Rocky. He's just leaning back and leaning back and leaning back, and then
just wait.
Yeah, he's getting ready, and then someone's going to tell him switch, and he's going to come out with that left. He's going to surprise everyone at LVO and run like Knights or something silly.
But Seth, correct me if I'm wrong, but at this point, any one of these guys that you just read, if they win LVO, they win it all, right? I mean, at this point, at least.
Yeah.
Basically, anyone from like 10th up, if they were to win LVO by a good margin.
So they're all in the running right now. I mean, they're all in the running.
They're very much in the running. Yeah. Now, that being said, like, sake of argument, if like James Kelling wins and then John takes second, like maybe some math like that.
Yeah.
Might make it so that even though James won, John would still be in first just because John has such a big points lead on James, but that remains to be seen as we get closer to the event. Moving down to the hobby track, our number 1 is still JT Steiger. Number 2, Lee Harris. Number 3, Scott Boucher. Number 4, Jacob Thayer. And number 5 is Lee Steiger. And I got multiple messages last
I was going to correct
week,
you.
folks, that this is not JT's wife or significant other. This is JT's brother.
And it's
so Lee, I apologize. If I see you at an event, let me know and I'll buy you a drink because
it's only been like 6 months of us butchering this, so.
Hey, I mean, it's whatever, so just everyone reached out to me. I don't know why suddenly everyone reached out to me because I have been doing this for weeks, but thanks for letting me know. I told them that I'd get a correction on air. So here we are. Going down to our competitive track, number 1 is Gavin Greigar. Number 2, Caleb Walters. Number 3, Anthony Trentinelli. Number 4, Yuri Shavana. And number 5, James O'Brien.
That was the Age of Sigmar competitive track.
Sorry. I just spun into that. I'm sorry. And then our AOS hobby track, number 1, Derek Page. Number 2, Nick Garcia. Number 3, Ian Wood. Number 4, Christopher Hernandez. And number 5, No Aquino. And that wraps up your ITC recap for the week.
Awesome.
And let's get into our questions. I haven't seen too many come through in the chat.
Although this is one of our largest, most talkative chats we've had in a long time.
So I'm just trying to catch up. So the question is, isn't Siegler the overwhelming favorite? Yeah, Siegler is like the dark horse in the ITC right now because he only has 5 of his 6 scores in. So if he places very high in the LVO, he certainly could be in the mix. So don't count Siegler out. He could definitely come in and sneak it out. And I swear, if that man comes in and wins LVO and only plays in 6 events, and those are the 6 scores he gets to win the ITC, I think we have to like name something after him because that is like that's like the Babe Ruth calling your homer.
Yeah. It's going to be like the Siegler Trophy or the Siegler Award, coming out of left field.
Yeah.
Well, there's a shout out.
Shout outs to Kicker and T.O. John for still giving the AOS players a great time.
Oh, dude, John is a legend. I mean, this guy's he's a local guy that he knows how to run an event and make sure everyone has a great time. And he's really stood up to help with the GW Age of Sigmar events and of course our Frontline Gaming Age of Sigmar events. This guy's just awesome. Did you meet John, Seth? You really needed to meet him.
I did not.
No, it's a shame. I mean, you were busy on the 40K tables, but yeah.
Looks like Joe from War Games Live wants to lick Jaime Paris. So
he's licking Jaime Paris to win.
It's a Space Wolf thing, I guess.
It's a Space Wolf thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, so Joe is a Space Wolf player, and
yeah,
so I know
Joe, you're a little biased on that front, buddy. I mean, orcs probably a little bit better than Space Wolves. Kelsey does point out we need to figure out how to get hot water at LVO to make sure we can get Kicker's tea, because without hot water, it's going to be hard. I will look into this. I betcha I can get the hotel to provide us a nice craft of hot water.
Yeah, right. It's coming with a little thermos. It's great.
Oh yeah, I will do it. Don't you worry.
Dude, I will. I'm kind of on the back end helping run this thing. I think I can make it that we will have tea time between round 3 and 4 or something like that. Like I'll just tea time. Let's get our crumpets out. Let's do this.
I'm not gonna say no, because I very much like an afternoon coffee, particularly at events. So coffee and tea time in the afternoon would. What does chat think about having some tea and coffee cards?
Like, I mean, I'm not taking like a full on like nap time, but just like we already have time between rounds. Let's just have tea time. Get tea out for everyone. We can have some snacks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally in with just having a good coffee in the afternoon to particularly if it's been a long evening and you're going into a long day and you just need that little bit of caffeine boost before the last round.
I mean, I will sponsor the Frontline Gaming tea time. We can have cucumber sandwiches. Oh my dude, I'm all for this. All right, let's make it happen. It'd be great.
Can we get beignets though?
We can get beignets. Not in Las Vegas. It's not the same thing. They call it. I think people are calling beignets funnel cake, and I was kind of offended. It is so much more than a funnel cake.
Also, now there is now the request for having coffee available for the first rounds.
Ooh. Okay. Ask chat, or I don't know if chat can respond. Would you prefer there to be Bloody Marys or coffee before
in the morning?
Round 1 of every?
I know what chat's going to say.
Well, you see, I thought it was. I think it's Bloody Marys because we did.
I think they're going to say both.
Oh, both. You can't. No, come on. Make this easy on me here, because we did do Bloody Marys at Lone Star Open, but I don't think it was that much. That wasn't.
We've got one vote for coffee.
One coffee.
Someone wants lemon curd.
Lemon curd.
What the hell's that? What is that?
There's a vote for whiskey, and then, of course, Head Rush. I said it was going to happen. He wants both.
Both, of course. Well. I think that'd be kind of cool though if we could have some sort of
War Games says
coffee. He wants coffee. Just straight whiskey.
All right, let's try and see if we can set this up before round 1 of the LVO. Actually, what if we did before round 1 and round 4? In the morning you can go get your jolt to get you rolling. All right, sweet. I like it.
That is a very good point. Kelsey points out there is a singular Starbucks at the Rio, so coffee, please.
Yeah. That's a good point.
I 100% bet that the Rio has multiple ways for you to buy alcohol.
Yes.
So if they only have one way to buy coffee. That's
there we go. That might be the answer right there. Let's set up a coffee stand. I like it. Sweet.
There's lots of votes for both, but lemon curd and scones with tea, that's.
Dude, have you had a scone before? Scones are legit.
I don't. I'm liking this high British afternoon tea.
Yeah, right.
That's.
I mean, this is a British created game, right?
Mark points out mimosas.
Mimosas.
We can be friends, Mark. I like that. Yes, that's great. I like that. That's a great
Joel wants bloody coffee.
That does not sound good, Joel.
That sounds unsanitary.
I think I'm going to regret that.
Yeah.
Decision. All right. Well, any other questions chat's got for us tonight?
No.
I
think that's it as well. So, Kicker, are you ready to wrap this one up? I'm definitely not tired. I promise you. I can go for another hour.
Guys, I want to thank you all for coming to the New Orleans Open this past week, and I can't wait to see you all at LVO in the very near future. Seth, take us away.
Well, we thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Signals from the Frontline. I hope you appreciated our new tech priest, Richard, in his dancy jiggly form. Have a great week.
That's tech
we will see everyone next weekend.
Good night, guys.
Tech priest Dickie.